Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Simple English Space, your comfy corner to learn English through real conversations. I'm Anna, and today I'm here with my co-host, Jack. Hi, Jack. How are you doing?
Hi, Anna. I'm doing great, thank you. I'm excited about today's topic because it's something really useful for everyone who wants to practice English in real life.
Exactly. Today we are going to talk about using public transportation. That means buses, trains, subways, trams, and even taxis. For many people, especially in big cities, public transportation is the main way to get around.
Yes, and if you are traveling or living in another country, you will definitely need to know how to use English to buy tickets, ask for directions, and find your way around the city.
That's right. So today we'll break it down into simple English phrases and examples so our listeners can feel confident when using public transportation. Let's start with the basics. When you want to take public transportation, usually the first thing you need to do is buy a ticket or a pass. So Jack, what are some common ways people can ask for tickets in English?
Good question. If you are at a ticket counter or a station, you can say something like, I'd like a ticket to destination, please. Can I get a round-trip ticket to place? How much is a ticket to place?
Perfect. And sometimes you might use a machine instead of talking to a person. In that case, the words you see on the screen are usually simple. Single ticket, return ticket, day pass, weekly pass, or monthly pass.
Yes, and if you're not sure what to do, you can always ask for help. A simple phrase is, excuse me, how do I buy a ticket?
Great. Now, after getting a ticket, the next step is usually to find your bus or train. That means looking at signs or asking for directions.
Right, so if you're not sure where to go, you can ask, excuse me, where is the bus stop for bus number 25? Which platform is the train to London? Does this bus go to the airport?
Those are really useful. And one tip, when asking questions, always start with, excuse me. It's polite and makes people more willing to help you.
Now, let's think about what happens when you are on the bus or train. Sometimes you want to make sure you don't miss your stop, so you might ask someone, does this bus stop at Main Street? Can you tell me when we get to Central Station?
That's super helpful. And remember, sometimes there are announcements in English, so listen carefully. For example, next stop, City Center. Or, doors closing, please stand clear.
That's true. And if you're in a taxi or using a ride app like Uber, you'll need different phrases. For example, can you take me to the airport, please? How long will it take to get there? Can you stop here, please?
Excellent. So we've covered tickets, asking for directions, and being on the vehicle. Now let's give our listeners a full conversation example. I'll be the traveler, and Jack, you'll be the ticket seller. Ready?
Ready.
Excuse me, I'd like a ticket to the city center, please.
Sure. Do you want a single ticket or a return ticket?
Just a single ticket, please. How much is it?
It's $2.50.
Here you go. Thank you.
You're welcome. The train leaves from platform 3.
Platform 3? Is it this way?
Yes, just go straight and turn left. You'll see the signs.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your help.
No problem. Have a nice trip.
Thanks, you too. That's a very typical situation. Short, polite, and clear.
Yes, and the key is to remember polite phrases like excuse me, please, and thank you. They make communication smooth, even if your English is simple.
Absolutely. Now, let's think about buses. Many cities have bus numbers, and you need to check the right one. What can we say?
You could say, does this bus go to the museum? Where can I catch bus number 45? How many stops until the station?
Those are really useful, and sometimes the bus driver may not speak slowly, but usually they will help.
That's right. And if you're not sure, you can ask another passenger. People are usually friendly if you ask politely.
Let's also practice with trains. In many countries, trains have schedules and platforms. If you're in a busy station, you might feel confused. Jack, what would you do?
I would look for signs first, but if I couldn't find it, I'd ask someone. Excuse me, which platform is the train to Oxford? Or when does the next train to Manchester leave?
Perfect. And sometimes you might hear answers like, it leaves in 10 minutes, or it's on platform 5.
Yes, short and simple.
Let's do another example conversation, this time about asking on the bus. Excuse me, does this bus go to Central Park?
Yes, it does. You need to get off after 5 stops.
Thank you. Can you please tell me when we reach Central Park?
Sure, I'll let you know.
Great. How much is the fare?
It's $1.50. You can put the money in the box.
Here you go. Thanks for your help.
No problem. Just remember the park will be on your right.
Okay, that's really helpful. I'm new here.
Don't worry, you'll see it. It's a big stop.
Thank you again. That was another real-life example. It shows how you can confirm where you're going and make sure you don't miss your stop.
Yes, and notice how the traveler used "excuse me" and "can you please tell me." Very polite and effective.
So far, Jack, we've talked about buses, trains, and the subway. We even had a nice example of buying a ticket at a bus station. But public transportation is not only about buses or trains. Sometimes, when people need to move faster or more directly, they...
That's so true, Anna. In some cities, taxis are everywhere, and you can just wave your hand to stop one on the street. But in other places, you might need to book a taxi using an app like Uber, Grab, or Lyft. No matter the method, you will need English phrases to tell the driver where you want to go, how to pay, and maybe even ask about the price.
Exactly. Let's give our listeners an example conversation that shows how to use English when taking a taxi. Excuse me, can you take me to the Grand Hotel?
Of course, please get in. Do you prefer the shortest route or the fastest one?
The fastest one, please. I'm in a bit of a hurry.
No problem. It should take about 20 minutes.
Great. By the way, how much will it cost approximately?
Around $15, depending on traffic.
That's fine. Thank you.
Do you need the air conditioning on?
Yes, that would be nice. Thank you.
Okay, we are almost there. That will be $15.
Here you go. Can I pay with a credit card?
Yes, of course. Please insert your card.
Done. Thank you for the ride.
You're welcome. Have a good day. That's a great example. Very natural, very useful. People can learn from that how to say their destination, ask about the price, and even how to pay at the end.
Yes, and notice the polite expressions. Saying things like, please, thank you, and excuse me makes the conversation smoother. In English, politeness really helps.
Now, Anna, what about air travel? Many of our listeners might travel by plane, especially if they go abroad or across long distances. Using English in airports and on planes can be very important.
Absolutely. At airports, you need to check in, show your passport, go through security, and then board the plane. On the plane, you might need to ask the flight attendant for help, food, or directions to the bathroom. Let's share an example of how to use English in this situation.
Good morning. I'd like to check in for my flight to London.
Certainly. May I see your passport and ticket, please?
Here you go.
Thank you. Do you have any luggage to check in?
Yes, just this suitcase.
All right. It's within the weight limit. Here's your boarding pass. The gate is number 12, and boarding begins at 9:30.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a pleasant flight. Hello. Can I get you something to drink?
Yes, could I have some water, please?
Of course. Here you go.
Thank you. How long is the flight?
About 7 hours.
Great. Thanks for the information. I really like that one. It shows both the check-in process at the airport and also a short interaction on the plane. That's very practical English.
Yes, and it also shows how important it is to understand instructions about time, gates, and boarding passes. Imagine missing your flight because you didn't understand the English.
Ah, that would be terrible. But with practice, our listeners will feel more comfortable.
And that's exactly why we're doing this podcast today. We want to help people feel confident using English when traveling on buses, trains, subways, taxis, and even airplanes.
Right. I think one big takeaway from today is that people don't need to use complicated grammar. Simple sentences like, where is the bus stop? Or, can I pay with a card? Are enough.
Yes, simple English works very well when traveling. The key is being polite, clear, and confident.
So, listeners, try to practice these conversations with a friend or even by yourself. You can role play as the passenger and the driver, or as the passenger and the staff. That way, when the real moment comes, you'll already know what to say.
Exactly. And remember, mistakes are okay. Most people will still understand you even if your grammar is not perfect. The most important thing is communication.
Well said, Anna.
Jack, I feel like we've had such a full journey today. We started with buses, then trains, trams, ferries, taxis, and even airplanes. That's a whole world of public transportation.
Absolutely, Anna. And what's really interesting is that public transportation is not just about moving from one place to another. It's also about learning new words, expressions, and polite ways to interact with people. For example, simple questions like, where does this bus go? Or how much is the ticket? Or essential survival phrases for anyone traveling.
Yes, and the present simple tense has been everywhere in our examples too, like the bus arrives at 8 a.m. or this train stops at every station. Simple but powerful sentences that learners can use every day.
That's right. And one thing that always amazes me is how transportation also teaches us about culture. For instance, in some countries, buses are very crowded but always on time. In others, you might have to wait a little longer, but people are relaxed and friendly.
Good point, Jack. So, transportation is not only a way to travel, but also a way to experience local life. And if our listeners travel abroad, knowing how to use polite English phrases on buses, trains, or planes can really make their journey smoother.
Exactly. Imagine being at an airport and not knowing how to ask for your gate. You could feel lost and stressed. But if you remember just a few phrases like, excuse me, where is gate 5? Or what time does the boarding start? Suddenly you feel more confident.
That's the magic of simple English. It gives you confidence in real-life situations, and that's why we created this episode, to help our listeners feel ready for those moments.
Speaking of real life, maybe we should summarize some of the most useful expressions we covered.
Great idea. Let's do a little review list for everyone. 1. Asking about routes. Where does this bus go? 2. Asking about cost. How much is the ticket? 3. Asking about time. What time does the train leave? 4. Polite requests. Could you please call a taxi for me? 5. At the airport. Excuse me, where's the boarding gate? 6. Confirming details. Does this tram stop near the museum? 7. Showing appreciation. Thank you for your help.
That's a very practical list, Anna, and our listeners can practice these sentences aloud to build confidence.
Yes, speaking out loud is so important. Don't just read the phrases silently. Try to say them with a smile and imagine you're talking to a bus driver, a ticket seller, or an airport staff member.
And remember, making mistakes is okay. No one expects you to be perfect. Even if your grammar isn't perfect, people will appreciate your effort to communicate politely.
Absolutely. And one tip is always to carry a small notebook or use your phone to write down useful expressions while you travel. That way, you'll keep building your personal transportation dictionary.
That's a great idea, Anna. And another tip is to listen carefully to announcements. On buses or trains, you might hear, next stop, Central Station. At airports, you might hear, Flight 220 is now boarding at Gate 12. These are excellent listening practice opportunities.
Yes, real-life English is all around us when we travel, and the more you listen, the faster you'll improve.
So, Anna, before we close, what's your favorite form of public transportation?
That's a fun question. I think I love trains the most. They're comfortable, you can enjoy the view, and you don't have to worry about traffic. What about you, Jack?
I think I'd pick ferries. There's something special about being on the water, feeling the breeze, and watching the waves. Plus, it feels like an adventure.
Oh, yeah, ferries are magical. See, everyone has their favorite, and maybe our listeners also have one too.
That's right. So, to all of you listening, we'd love to know what's your favorite way to travel using public transportation. Do you like buses, trains, planes, or maybe bicycles in the city? Share your answers in the comments or tell us on social media.
Yes, please do. We always enjoy hearing from you, and your answers might inspire other learners too.
And remember, the more you practice talking about these real-life topics, the easier it becomes to use English naturally.
Exactly. And that brings us to the end of today's episode.
Time flies just like an airplane, doesn't it?
It really does. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this journey through public transportation and useful English expressions.
We hope you learned new phrases, felt more confident, and maybe even imagined yourself traveling around the world with English by your side.
Until next time, keep practicing, keep exploring, and remember, English is your ticket to new adventures. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss other videos.
Goodbye, and see you in the next episode of Simple English Space.